the nest, the best nest. Put that book down. Okay. Mr. Bird
was very happy. He had to sing. I love our house, I love our nest, and all the world.
Then Mrs. Bird came out of the house. What'd she say?
It's not the best nest. She said, I'm tired of this old place. Let's look for a new place right now.
Come on. So
they left the old place to look for a new one. May I see the woods? I like this place, said Mr. Bird. Let's move in here.
You can put it.
But somebody else have already moved in.
So they looked.
So they looked at another house. I like this house, said Mr. Bird. And there's nobody in it.
Night.
Can I kiss him?
I love you.
Can I kiss his head?
Oh, sure.
He's a cute little baby.
Poppy wants to give you a kiss on the head.
Night, sissy.
You're a cute little baby.
All right.
Okay.
You're wrong, said Mrs. Bird. This house belongs to a foot. So they looked at another house. I like this house, said Mrs. Bird. It has a pretty red flag on the roof. Maybe this place will be all right. But it was not all right. I guess I made a mistake, said Mr. Bird. You make too many mistakes, said Mrs. Bird. I'm going to pick the next house. And here it is, right here.
The whole book.
They flew in. Isn't it too big? Asked Mr. Bird. I like this house, said Mrs. Bird. I like this big house, said Mrs. Bird. This is the place to build our new nest.
Okay.
They went right to work. First, they got some hay. They got some they got some sweating string. They got some soda straws and some broom straws.
Stop.
They got some socking string and mattress stuffing. They got some horse hair and some man hair. They have all the hay, all the straws, all the horse, all the soda straws, all the horse hair, and all the man hair, and all the soda straws and mattress stuffing. They took it back to build their new nest.
Stop.
It took
Mr.
them
and
the
Mrs.
rest. Mr. and Mrs. Bird worked very hard. It finished the rest of the morning to finish their nest.
This.
I want to stay here forever, said Mr. Bird. Mr. Bird was so happy he had to sing. He flew to the top of his house. He sang his song again. I love our house, I love our nest, and all the world, my nest is best. He was so busy singing. He didn't see Mr. Parker coming. Every day at 12 o'clock, Mr. Parker came to the church. He came to pull the rope. The rope went up to the bird's new nest. The rope rang the big bell right under Mrs. Bird's new nest. It went bong, bong, bong. Mrs. Bird got out of there as fast as she could fly. Bong, 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 bong. Mr. Bird came in. All that he could see was a mess of hay, all the straws, all the horsehair and man hair. Where was Mrs. Bird? I will look for her until I find her, said Mr. Bird. He looked high, he looked low, he looked everywhere for Mrs. Bird. He looked down into a chimney, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. Wait, I told you, I went to the page. He looked down into a water barrel, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. Then he saw a big fat cat. There were some pretty brown feathers near that fat cat's mouth. Mr. Bird began to cry. Oh dear son, Mr. Bird. This big fat cat has eaten Mrs. Bird. He flew off. I will never see Mrs. Bird again, he cried. It was getting darker and darker. It began to rain. Mr. Bird could not see where he was going. Crash! Mr. Bird bumped into something. It was his old house. The old house that Mrs. Bird didn't like. I'll go inside, said Mr. Bird. I'll rest here until the rain stops. He went in, and there was Mrs. Bird, sitting there singing. I love our house, I love our nest, in all the world, my nest is best. You, said Mr. Bird, I thought you hated this old nest. Mrs. Bird smiled. I used to hate it, said Mrs. Bird, but a mother bird can try like an old nest, like for a brand new bird. Aw, they have a cute baby. Pop, the egg popped open. The new bird thought so too.
Good job.
That's